everybody. My name is Mungin for the Joshua Generation Ministries. Today I'd like to talk to you about dealing with disappointment. Dealing with disappointment is something that is not going to go away. We go through life day by day. We have expectations and of outcomes of situations, and sometimes it works in our favor, and sometimes it doesn't. So what do we do in the moments that it doesn't work in our favor? We have to understand that even when things don't go the way we planned them, they're still working in our favor. Why? Because the Bible tells us that God works all things together for good, for our good. Not just our good, but for the good of the whole community, for the good of the whole creation. Because remember, we're not just one isolated component of creation. We're all interconnected and interrelated in some kind of way, that whatever affects me in some kind of way, it indirectly affects you. So God works all things together for good to those who love him and those who are called according to his purpose. So in the midst of dealing with disappointment, we have to remember that there's a bigger picture. We have to understand that God has control of the situation, even though it doesn't seem like it. We have to understand that whether it's a death, whether it's a loss of a job, whether it's a broken marriage or a broken home, whether a business goes under, whether we declare bankruptcy, regardless of whatever it is, the fact of the matter remains that God is still in control. He's still sovereign over all things, and he's going to work it out for our good. While we're in the midst of the storm and dealing with the turbulent winds and intimidating circumstances of that situation, it's difficult to see that because our perspective is like locked in on that one particular thing, and that's the disappointment that we've incurred. But at the end of the day, we have to consider, did we place our focus and our attention and everything on what we wanted more so than considering, hey, is this what God wanted? Was this the will of God? I mean, we could use the will of God. We can use our free will, as excuses and things like that. But at the end of the day, we really have to consider, was this what God wanted? Was I really hearing him? Was he really leading me in that direction? Or is this something that I conjured up? This is something that I wanted so strongly that I believed it was the voice of God who told me to act upon it, and then it really wasn't. And then when the plans fell through, we were looking for someone to blame. We were looking for a reason for why. We wanted to know. We wanted answers. We were demanding answers. But in dealing with disappointment, you have to understand that at the end of the day, God's not going to allow anything to come into your life that's going to harm you. And if it doesn't happen, that's because God sees something far in advance that you can't see, that I can't see. And he's protecting us. That's what a father does. He protects his children. He cares for his children. So in looking at all of that and in understanding that, it kind of helps us bring things into perspective. No, I didn't get the job. No, I didn't get the car. I didn't get the house. No, my marriage isn't working. No, my child is still on drugs. These are things we don't understand. These are things that cause us to look at ourselves in the sense of, what have I done wrong? And it causes us to become very critical of ourselves. In some cases, yes, we may have been the catalyst for these events to take place, but then others, we may have been the innocent party. But at the end of the day, God is still able to take these negative situations and turn them into positives. And God's able to not only use them for your good, but he's also able to use them for your testimony, wherein you're able to minister to someone else. You're able to speak into the lives of someone else who's going through something, and you're able to speak in a sense of empathy and sympathy, and you're able to say to them, hey, I've been there. I've lost the husband. I've lost the wife. I've lost the child. My child is on drugs. My child is in jail. My husband left me. My wife left me. I lost my job. I lost my home. I lost my car. I've been raped. I've been humiliated. All of the above. At the end of the day, God can take these things and he can work it out for our good. We have to keep in mind in dealing with disappointment that there's a greater picture that's at stake. There's a greater purpose that's at stake. It's not always about us. Even though we'd like to sometimes believe that it is, it's not always about us. At the end of the day, good conquers evil. Love conquers all. And at the end of the day, when all the dust and the smoke clears from the situation in dealing with disappointment, if we continue to hold God to his word, and if we continue to stand upon his promises, and we continue to believe that he is sovereign and that he loves us, and that he would never, as a father, he would never hurt us, he would never allow anything to hurt us, then we'll be the ones standing when the smoke clears, and everything will be okay. That's just a thought. In dealing with disappointments, remember, there's a greater purpose, and God wouldn't allow anything to come into our lives that's going to hurt us, that's going to harm us, that's going to keep us from fulfilling purpose and doing his will. He's not going to allow anything to separate us from his love. That's in the Bible, and you can take that to the bank. That's just a thought. My name's Sean Mungin for the Joshua Generation Ministry. I'll talk to you soon.